As I sit down to recount the tale of my childhood friend turned serial killer, memories flood back like an old film reel flickering to life. It all began innocently enough, in the quaint suburban neighborhood where I spent my early years. Ryan and I were inseparable from the moment we met, our bond forged in the fires of childhood adventures and shared secrets. I remember the endless summers spent riding bikes until the streetlights flickered on, our laughter echoing through the twilight air. Ryan was always the daredevil, pushing the boundaries of our games with a mischievous glint in his eye, but beneath his wild spirit lurked a darkness that I failed to see until it was too late. As we grew older, I noticed subtle shifts in Ryan's behavior, like puzzle pieces slowly falling into place to reveal a disturbing picture. He became withdrawn, secretive, his once bright eyes now shadowed with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. Yet, I brushed aside my unease, clinging to the memory of the boy I once knew. The first crack in the facade came when I stumbled upon Ryan watching a true crime documentary late one night. His eyes were glued to the screen, a rapt expression on his face as he absorbed every gruesome detail. I laughed it off as morbid curiosity, but a seed of doubt had been planted in my mind. As time went on, the signs became harder to ignore. Ryan's mood swings grew more erratic, his temper flaring at the slightest provocation. He began to disappear for days at a time, offering vague excuses that never quite added up. Yet, I clung to our friendship like a lifeline, unwilling to acknowledge the truth staring me in the face. The turning point came on a sweltering summer afternoon, when I stumbled upon a box hidden away in Ryan's closet. Curiosity got the better of me, and I lifted the lid to reveal a chilling collection of newspaper clippings and mementos. My heart hammered in my chest as I realized the truth staring back at me. Ryan was connected to a series of unsolved murders that had plagued our town for years. Shock and disbelief coursed through me as I struggled to make sense of the evidence before me. How could the boy I'd grown up with, shared my deepest secrets with, be capable of such monstrous acts? Yet, the proof was irrefutable, staring back at me in black and white. In that moment, my world shattered into a million pieces, the innocence of my childhood stripped away in an instant. I knew then that I could no longer turn a blind eye to the truth, no matter how painful it may be. The road ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but I was determined to uncover the truth behind my childhood friend's descent into darkness, no matter the cost. As the weight of discovery settled upon my shoulders, I found myself plunged into a whirlwind of uncertainty and doubt. Every fiber of my being rebelled against the notion that Ryan, my closest friend, could be capable of such heinous acts. Yet, the evidence lay before me like a damning indictment, impossible to ignore. I wrestled with conflicting emotions, torn between loyalty to the friend of my youth and the moral imperative to seek justice for the lives he had taken. Part of me desperately clung to the hope that there must be some mistake, some explanation that would absolve Ryan of guilt. But deep down, a gnawing sense of dread told me that the truth was far more sinister than I dared to imagine. With a heavy heart, I embarked on a journey of investigation, determined to uncover the secrets hidden beneath the surface of our seemingly idyllic friendship. I combed through old memories with a newfound sense of urgency, searching for clues that might shed light on Ryan's descent into darkness. The more I delved into Ryan's past and present, the more unsettling truths I unearthed. I discovered a pattern of behavior stretching back years, subtle hints and warning signs that I had been blind to until now. Ryan had always been adept at wearing masks, concealing his true self behind a facade of charm and charisma. But beneath the surface, I now saw a darkness lurking, waiting to be unleashed. As I pieced together the puzzle of Ryan's life, I found myself grappling with a growing sense of unease. I uncovered secrets that sent chills down my spine, realizing that the boy I thought I knew was little more than a stranger wearing his face. Yet doubts plagued my mind, whispering that perhaps I was simply seeing shadows where none existed. I questioned my own memories, wondering how I could have been so blind to the truth for so long. Had I been complicit in Ryan's crimes without even realizing it? Guilt gnawed at my conscience, a constant reminder of the lives that had been lost while I stood by in ignorance. But still, I pressed on, driven by a relentless determination to uncover the truth no matter the cost. With each new revelation, the line between friend and foe blurred, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Yet, I knew that I could not rest until justice was served, whatever form it may take. In the dark heart of the night, I whispered a silent vow to the souls lost to Ryan's madness, promising that their voices would not go unheard. And with that solemn pledge burning in my heart, I prepared to confront my childhood friend once and for all, steeling myself for the battle that lay ahead. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, I knew that the time for reckoning had come. Armed with the weight of truth and a resolve forged in fire, I confronted Ryan, my childhood friend turned monster. The air crackled with tension as I stood face to face with the person I once trusted above all others. His eyes, once so familiar, now glinted with a coldness that sent shivers down my spine. Gone was the boy I had known, replaced by a stranger wearing his skin like a mask. I spoke the words that had been weighing on my soul, laying bare the evidence of his crimes for all to see. But instead of remorse or denial, I was met with a chilling smile, a twisted parody of the friendship we had once shared. In that moment, I knew that Ryan was beyond saving, consumed by the darkness that had lurked within him all along. But still, I could not turn away, could not abandon the hope that some shred of humanity still remained buried beneath the facade. What followed was a tense standoff, a battle of wills waged in the shadows of our shared past. Every word was a dagger, every silence a scream echoing in the darkness. And as the truth unfolded, I felt a part of myself unraveling, torn between the friend I had lost and the monster he had become. But even as fear threatened to consume me, a fierce determination burned within my heart. I would not let Ryan's crimes go unpunished, would not allow his victims to fade into obscurity like ghosts in the night. And so, with trembling hands and a heavy heart, I called upon the authorities, knowing that this would be the final act in our tragic tale. The moments that followed were a blur of flashing lights and pounding hearts, a cacophony of voices raised in anger and disbelief. And as Ryan was led away in chains, I felt a sense of closure wash over me, mingled with a profound sadness for the friend I had lost. But even as the chapter closed on our shared history, I knew that the scars of our past would never truly heal. For in the end, the true horror was not in the crimes themselves, but in the realization that the darkness had been lurking within us all along, waiting to be unleashed upon an unsuspecting world. And as I gazed out into the night, I whispered a silent prayer for peace, knowing that some wounds could never be fully healed.